Hey there, and happy Wednesday afternoon. I can't believe it's Wednesday already. This week's flying by. Everything is flying by. It's so windy out today. I just kind of like put my hair up and thought, okay, whatever I look like, that's how it's going to be today. Running after the guys, delivered some food, and hopefully the next one will be in. It's almost 2 o'clock, or it is 2 o'clock, and just still feeding the noon round of meals. So I'm going to start out today. My goal is to make 3 live videos for you guys. So if you are in a creative mood, you can watch it or look ahead for when I'll be live next. Hopefully every couple hours I'll be showcasing something, or if you like to do replays or save it for a rainy day. If it does get to be over 30 days, my reels disappear because of Facebook rules and such. You can always catch all of them on YouTube, so keep that in mind too. Well, here we have a very quick and easy but very pretty card using the Brush with Beauty Designer Series paper and Prayers and Promises stamp set. So let me get turned around here for you. Here we go. And I know sometimes you guys are like, how do you find all of your ideas and such? When it came to this card today, let me get some more light on that. I don't know if you know Tim and Karen Titus stamping on the back porch. Tim, he's such a gem. I think I spend more time talking with Tim than Karen, but this last time on my way to California for On Stage, I got to have a nice chat with Karen at the airport. A lot of us Minnesota people end up gathering at our gate and meeting each other that way. And but Tim is such a gem. He one time just passed out this card to me, and it's so sweet because he's kind of like Karen. He is Karen's right-hand man. And so I said, Tim, I didn't swap this time. I didn't bring any cards to swap. Oh, just take this one. And he is originally from Jackson, so just down the road. And so people that he knew from high school and friends, like one of them helped coach my boys in basketball. So small town living at its finest. So what I did then is thought, I'm just going to change this beautiful patterns, I think it is, embossing folder. I'm just going to change it over to the damask embossing folder, and then I just kind of went away with the vanilla layer here, but ended up making the mossy metal pop a little bit with the perennial postage dies. Did a little changing up with the pattern paper here and the sentiment too. So at the time, I think I didn't have the whole Brush with Beauty suite, just the paper. That was part of it. But I like this, but then I thought, oh, I love the He Cares for You too. So this comes from this whole thing is the Brush with Beauty suite, the embossing folder, the stamps and the dies and everything. And I just kind of went, you know what, I'm just going to make it my own. So hopefully you enjoy seeing, okay, what did I see? What did I make type things. When that works, I like to show them because sometimes I'm creating too. Oops, here we go. Just gonna hold this here. This is what I used. I wouldn't need to be so wordy with that if I remember that this is there. All right, so like I said, quick and easy. Let me show you how this comes together. Petal pink, so pretty with mossy metal. Those are kind of the 2 main colors here, and normally I won't put them together, but like I always say with designer series paper, it's amazing what that can do. Times I have connection issues there. It said trying to reconnect, and if I click anything on my screen, it will disconnect. There, I'm back. Okay, maybe I just need to do quick and easy cards today so that I don't lose anybody. Hello, Carrie Ann. Thanks for joining in. All right, so with my petal pink card base folding that way, I'm just going to adhere the 4 by 5 1/4 pre-embossed damask embossing folder layer on top of that. The damask designs embossing folder was $9.50. It's marked down to $8.55 right now on the last chance list. So wanted to let you know that. And then with the perennial postage die here, what I just did then is kind of thought, okay, how do I get a tight fit and yet let that nice decorative edge show? So I'm going to give you the measurements here. 3 by 2.75, and this is going to be 3 by, I love my glass mat for giving you guys measurements, 3 by 1 1/4. And then what I do is just tape that down. And sometimes I don't realize like the 3 and the 2.75 are pretty close in measurements until I'm at a class. And people are like, oh, do I go that way or that way? So that's when I go, oh gosh, I should have been more careful. Or I try and lay them out too on my tables. I usually lay them in stacks, and then instead of handing individual pieces to people as they come to my events. There's no right way or wrong way. That is just what works for me and differently for others. Okay, now I'm just going to put that little kind of belly band type look, just a 1/2 inch by 3 inch piece of Mossy Meadow, and that's just going to give our eye a break there. And now for the sentiment. I know this thing looks teeny tiny from the perennial postage dies. You can probably say, I don't even see it there on your glass mat. It's there, it's tiny. But from Prayers and Promises, there is that sentiment, he cares for you. And what a wonderful saying. I love that. And because it is photopolymer, I'm just going to do that. And actually, I want to show you something too. What I like to do is bring in my Take Your Pick tool, hold down little pieces like that. Well, it looks just a little crooked. I'm going to see if I can get one over. Not crooked, just off-centered. I got a little too far to one edge than the other. So bringing this in at the retreat that I was at recently, we had talked about how sometimes when you have a photopolymer and you have it inked up and it doesn't want to release from the paper, and then when you try and pull it down and such, sometimes it can either catch those edges or give a smear or something. But that's when I like to bring in my Take Your Pick tool, just to kind of hold that down as I release, so that we don't end up with mistakes that we're not going to be happy with. So that's my tip of the day. Wasn't planned, just sometimes I'm stamping and that's the way it goes. Oh yeah, I was like, thought I laid out dimensionals, and this is pretty tiny too. So instead of the actual dimensionals, I think I'm just gonna cut a sliver off here of that edge trim piece here. Not that much. Okay, there we go. I'm just getting this off without the top paper getting too much in the way. And I'm just gonna put that across here, and then that's gonna get centered on my little strip. I kind of feel like this strip might be a little crooked there. I'm just gonna kind of pull it up. Here we go. Just give a little tug, and then center just by eyeing it. And then just to give the perennial postage die edge a little bit of height so that it can give some lift off of our damask embossing folder, I'm just going to put dimensionals in each of the corners and one in the middle. I don't want to get it too bulky since there's already one in the middle. I'm always thinking about, okay, what's going to happen when it goes through the postage system, right? And so I feel for, there's my sentiment here, so I'm going to put that extra dimensional there. Make sure that I'm opening this the right way so I don't put this on upside down. Tell me you've never done that, right? Okay, as you can see, this is coming together very, very nicely. And then also from Prayers and Promises, I'm going to bring back over my Mossy Meadow ink pad again and stamp out, keeping you in my thoughts, holding you in my heart, remembering you in my prayers. That way, so that coordinates with that. Just give it a little breeze there to dry it. Whoops. And that can go on the inside of my card. Now for embellishments. We've got some embellishments that are on sale too. And so I have the deer dots. Those are on last chance. And instead of being $8.50, they are only $5.95. So some of these colors are great for Christmas, and that is where that came from originally. But I love this petal pink. This one flew all the way up there. I'm going to see if I can get that to go down, or maybe it's not sticking because we lost some of the stickiness. So I'm going to set that one aside. And sometimes I'll find sheets with extra backing after maybe a class and somebody didn't get that adhesive on there, and I'm always thinking, oh, I hope that their embellishment made it home with them and not just the adhesive on my sheet. And then sometimes when I have loose ones like that, I'll just find that extra adhesive, stick it on there, or find a glue dot that works just as easily as well. So I'm just going to take, there's 2 different sizes for each color. I'm taking the larger ones, which aren't all that large, and just putting it on there as well. Another embellishment that I used for this sample, also these are now retired. When I did the class not too long ago, they were still available. Delightful decorative dots. And the reason I show you this even though it is gone is because sometimes you have in your stash, you go, how am I ever going to use up all these Christmas embellishments or such? This doesn't look like Christmas, but these little kind of cream colored ones are perfect for this project too. So I like to let people know that as well. So hopefully that gives you some inspiration here. Both of those embellishments look good. There's the card in the inside. And let me, I hope to be back with you a couple more times today. It seems like it should be an easier day for me for running with the guys and planting. Hopefully we'll finish planting all of our corn today and be ready to move on to beans soon. So see you later. Bye-bye.